Anybody got any idea what we're going to talk about today? Jesus. There's a thought idea about the Bible. Brother Marshall used to say, he and I would collaborate on Sunday services, and I'd say, "What are you preaching on Sunday?" And he'd say, "Sin." He said, "I just can't decide if I'm for it or against it." And I'm like, okay, yeah. We're going to talk about a storm. And is that not just a unique idea? Wonder where that came from. All right, Mr. Daniel. How many of you know this song? Roxy's the only one? Okay. I think more of you will after we get into it a little bit. How many of you lost electricity? How many of us did not lose electricity? Now you know who's living right and who's not living so right. Yeah. That's, yeah. Mark chapter 4, verse 35 through 41. This is also mentioned in the scriptures two other times, in Matthew chapter 8 and in Luke chapter 8. And it's talking about a storm that's happening on the Sea of Galilee. Some of the information is the Sea of Galilee is 13 miles long, it's 7 miles wide, and it's 150 feet deep. And it's surrounded on all four sides by mountains. And when a storm hits there, it's a pretty big one. So Mark chapter 4, verse 35 through 41. On that day, when evening came, he said to them, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd, they took him along with them in the boat, just as he was, and other boats were with him. And there arose a fierce gale of wind, and the waves were breaking over the boat so much that the boat was already filling up. Jesus himself was in the stern, asleep on a cushion, and they woke him up and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" And he got up and he rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Hush, be still." And the wind died down and it became perfectly calm. And he said to them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They became very much afraid and said to one another, "Who then is this that even the wind and the seas obey him?" Now, over your lifetime, what are some drastic storms, weather storms that you have experienced and lived through? Hurricane Laura, Katrina. The last one was Fern. Yep. Have y'all noticed how so many of these are named after women? Thank you. It's not a hurricane. I'll use that again. I probably won't give you credit for it, but I'll probably use it again. All right. Have anybody ever been through a tornado? Yeah, 2014. And we've had floods and that have happened. Any of those come without any warnings? Did you know they were coming before they got there? Okay, what about Fern? Were you warned that it was coming? Sort of. Okay. What did you do right? You called your sister to come get you. Okay. Gotcha. You got out of Dodge. Okay. Yeah. What else? Who else? What did y'all do? Bought a generator? Buy groceries? What did you say about a mattress? Gotcha. Yeah. Make sure the generator still works. Okay. Pray. There's a thought. Did you pray before it started or after it started? Yeah. And yeah. You You still praying, huh? What did you do wrong? What would you do again? I mean, do different if the storm happened again. What would you do different? Okay. Now, we're hearing February 14th weekend, it's coming again. Well, but should we listen or should we not listen? Okay, so if we're going to be prepared, we got to listen, right? And pray. Okay, all right. So, it's coming pretty quick. What will you do different that you didn't do this time? Buy more stuff? I need to have a list of what you're buying so I'll know when to come by there. Yeah. I said what you are buying. Brother, what was you saying? Fuel and propane. Now, that's, I prepared. I have gas logs and I have a gas grill and I have a gas cooker. And so I went and filled up all 4 propane tanks and I never had to use them. And we have a generator and we were thinking that Saturday we would go get gasoline and oil for the generator by Saturday morning. So we never got it, and that beautiful generator's just sitting there, and we never used it. We never offered it to anybody. I mean, nobody. We didn't. It just sat there. We're thinking any minute now the lights are gonna go out, and we're gonna need it. But we never did. I couldn't. We never got gas for it. I never. It just sat there looking pretty. Yeah, I thank you. I'll do that. So, every 6 months. Okay, all right. You can do that. Now, we roughed it because we lost internet. And we had to watch TV from our phone and our iPads instead of the TV. And that's roughing it. That was. We were in a sad place. Say that again? Yeah. We're looking at some options now, but sing a sad song, Now, what did the church do right in this storm? Okay. Yeah. And I know several of our people went around and moved generators and helped people. Several of our guys and ladies were going around helping several people. That is a wonderful thing that we did right. That we certainly got that, done. And then, like the very first day that it happened, I reached out to Energy and said, hey, you're welcome to use our parking lot as a home base. And they did. They were here most of the days. And I came out here and I gave them my business card with my phone number. And I said, I live right here. I can come. I can give you access to water, to coffee. We can do, we have showers in the youth building and, all that. Matt came out here and he did the same thing. They were here and he gave them coffee and water and let them come in, restrooms and all that kind of stuff. So, several during the time, what could we have done better? You're right. We didn't have electricity for several days, but we've got grills and things like that. There's things that we did not. We did not have electricity for several days. We still don't have internet. So, yeah, but we could have grilled. We could have done, and that's one thing, brother, that I think we are to think about when it's coming down. I think about the community that's right around us that are very poverty-stricken, and that's one of the things we could have done. We could have said, hey, let's get things set aside to make spaghetti the next time it happens. Let's make chili. Let's do whatever it is, and we could have made that happen. We just didn't think it was going to be to this kind of scale, Yeah. Well, that's that. I'm thinking more across the street, but then some others that are around there, or feeding the crew that was here, and several people went to where they were and fed them, and that would have been a way to. We could have done that from somebody's house, at my house. We could have cooked for the guys that were here. We never thought about it, we never put that concept in our mind, and I think we will, before the next time. Let's have something set aside. And then Matt brought up about being a place that people could come to stay warm. Once we got electricity back or we had energy, a place that they could come to and take a shower, whatever. And we could do that, as well. Many years ago, I don't remember what storm it was, we actually housed hurricane people. Do any of y'all remember which storm it was? It was quite a long time ago, probably 25 years ago. And we housed, hurricane people that got here. Do what? I don't think it was Katrina. I think it was before Katrina. Andrew. I think it might have been Andrew, that. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They did. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. I remember that. So some things that we could have done. Now, we got Jesus here that is in the boat, and he is, he is asleep. So there are three different kind of characters in this passage of Scripture. So let me ask you, which one are you? Would you consider yourself to be Jesus during a storm in your life where you are sound asleep? You're fine. You're laying on your pillow. God's got this taken care of. You ain't worried about nothing. Are you that person? Not that you're Jesus, but I'm saying that's your thought pattern is I'm fine. I'm fine. I can sleep through all of that. Or are you one of the disciples in the boat that you are on pins and needles wondering if you're going to survive? Because you're seeing, you're experiencing it. The water's coming in the boat. You steadily getting water out of the boat. Things is going all over around you, and you're trying to survive. And then the third character you could be in this scenario, if we were acting it out, is you're standing out on the shore watching somebody else go through it, which is what was going on here, okay? Three different kinds of people and three different characters. What are some examples of storms that happen in your life that is not weather-related? What would you consider to be a storm? Loss of a family member. Going through a divorce. No, you didn't. Going through a marriage. What did you say, brother? Alcohol, an addiction would be a storm. What about a loss of a job? Yeah. Illness would be a storm that and if you've been through one of those, how did you survive it? Did you have any warning? I think you're right, Helen. Sometimes you know that that's where it's going, but sometimes you have instant tragedies that you had no idea was going to happen. Yeah, no way of preparing for things like that. But now on the back end, seeing and witnessing people who have lived through similar things, now I know how to survive that. If that was to happen to my own life, I hope, I pray, I think that I have the kind of faith now to survive it because I've seen how other Christians have walked through it, So I think that, that's on the other end that we know how to survive it now because of what we've seen y'all do. What when you went through tragedies, what did the church do right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Their presence, they were there. Maybe didn't say a word, but they were standing there. Say that again. I'm talking about in a storm that's not weather related, a tragedy, a divorce, a death, something like that. What did the church do right in that type of storm? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what does that being there look like? Is it a couple hours? It's a lifetime, isn't it? It's not a today journey. It's a continued journey to know that your church is still going to be there for you, even if the discussion is about something that happened 20 years ago. It's still, the church is still there and can relate and can help and talk you through it. Yeah, 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 yeah. And we've done that many times. Yeah, that we help in a financial way as well as spiritual support and, encouragement for each other. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. That that helps. Yeah, yeah. I can't survive without coffee. You wouldn't. That's like the Hulk. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry, without coffee. Um. So my question is do you feel, as a member of Ouachita Baptist Church, do you feel that if you hit a storm tomorrow, that your church is going to be there? I do too. I do too. And then, second of all, are you going to be there for that church member who may be going through something tomorrow? And are you going to be there? And what are the things that we can do to minister to someone who's going through a tragedy? We talked about their presence. We talked about their financial situation, whatever that help is, helping them research solutions. So many times people get caught, especially in an illness, and they don't know where to go next. And you put people that have been in similar situations and you partner them up with them and says, here's what I did next and how my journey changed and how, this can help you to do yours as well. And being, just that experience and being able to share it, from one person to another. Now, in this story, in this passage, it happened. It's not a fairy tale. It wasn't a parable. It happened. We have instances where this past Sunday in Matthew 14, we studied Jesus walking on the water. And during our Sunday school lesson, the storm that was there, Peter come out and he walked on the water. What happened to Peter out there while he was walking on the water? He did what? He sunk. Okay. Why? He took his eyes off of Jesus, okay? And have y'all seen, we're getting to the Olympics, and if y'all want to know, I am Olympic fanatic, so for the next month, Roxy and I we won't know each other. She'll be in the Olympics. She don't like Olympics. I'll be in the other round. I'm going to watch all the events that go, so have y'all seen that one where the swimmers are they're doing their Olympic trial for the 100-yard swim, and they all dive off the board, and Jesus just runs across the top of the water? Have y'all seen? And he beats all of them. That's funny. But We don't have the luxury of walking on water from a realistic standpoint, but we do have the ability to walk through the storm when we keep our eyes on Jesus and when we stay focused on Him. And knowing that, so these fishermen were experienced fishermen. And I would say in this room, most of us are experienced Christians, okay? They had been through storms before, the fishermen have, knew how to deal with it, the live storm. They knew how to deal with it. They knew the kind of boat they had. They knew what their boat was capable of doing. Us as Christians, we are seasoned Christians. We've been through a storm before. We know how to handle it. We know what God's faith is capable of. We know what His Word says. We know what the church will do to support us. And we're both in the same thing. Or are we that person that's standing on the shore and we're not connected? We don't know how to navigate the storm. We don't know how to reach out to resources that are available. We're just that person that's going, there's a storm coming and I ain't got a clue. Meaning that you and I as a church have to do those things that we can do outside and inside these walls to minister to people who don't have that security level that you do and don't have that experience, life experiences of storms that come and go. This particular song has some wonderful words, and I'm going to skip to them because we went around there. Well, where did it go? It did run away. Somebody find for me Isaiah. It's in the Old Testament. Isaiah 46, 3 and 4. And when you find it, read it for me. Isaiah 46, 3 and 4. All right, now I don't know why he had to say even the gray-haired, why he couldn't have said those bald, good-looking men. I don't know why that ain't in there, but, that's interpretation, and I'm going to say that that's what he really meant, was all of us good-looking older folks. But is he saying that he is carrying you through all of that? No, from birth, He has carried you and He's going to continue to carry you. Does He care about the storms in your life that you're going through? Does He? Could anybody in this room who's a seasoned Christian say, I would have just been happy to go through that storm without Him? Nobody in here would want to do that, would we? Why? Because you feel that care. It's a struggle. The pain never goes away. But where would it be if you did not have Him to walk with you and to hold you and to carry you? Literally, almost can feel His arms wrapped around you and is holding you and guiding you through. And so there's no doubt in our mind that He does care for you and that you are dearly loved. The first verse of this song says, there is no problem too big that God couldn't solve. There is no mountain too tall that He can't move. There is no storm so dark that He can't calm it. There is no sorrow so deep that He can't soothe it. And then the chorus says, now, elementary teacher, what is it if and then statement? Lord, have mercy. Teacher, what is the if and then statement? All right, those of y'all that don't have teaching degrees, please tell these two teachers what an if and then statement is. If this is going to happen, then this is going to occur, okay? It's a mathematical problem. If this, then this is the answer, okay? How many of y'all learned that in school? Yeah, okay, all right. So, you didn't? So the chorus says, if He carried the weight of the world, did He? Then we know, brother, that He'll carry you. If He carried the weight of the world, we know, sister, that He's going to carry you, okay? The question is do you believe with everything inside of you that He did carry the weight of the world on His shoulders when he gave his life for you and I on the cross. Yeah. And we believe that and we trust in it and we know that it is true and he is going to carry us. Daniel, play that. I found a family of two sisters and 2 brothers that sing this. Had never heard them before, but my goodness, what a phenomenal arrangement that they have done of this song. Those of y'all that said you haven't heard it, I bet you probably be familiar with it. I've actually sang it here 3 or 4 times. It's one of Miss Mary's favorite songs. Yeah, go ahead, Daniel.